here, and today we're going to be doing another Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile. I know I sound really weird. I'm getting sick, and also this is already, I think, my fourth time recording this because of camera problems, and the video was way too short and it cut out like half of the deck profile. But today we are going to be profiling my Lightsworn deck, and this is probably my favorite deck to play in Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I said in my last Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile, I'm not the best at Yu-Gi-Oh, and I'm much better at Pokemon than I am at Yu-Gi-Oh. So, yeah. But I have 3 Raiden, Hand of the Lightsworn. This is basically the best Lightsworn monster, in my opinion, because it's a decent powerhouse, and this is weird, but the milling effects, where it sends cards to the graveyard, I think that's kind of a good thing, because you can summon Judgment Dragon faster. And also, it's a tuner, and it looks nice because it's hollow. I also have 3 Minerva. 3 is kind of pushing it, but still, it's pretty good. It's a tuner, so that's good. And it is pretty weak, which is the problem with it. But when you summon it, you can add basically Judgment Dragon to your hand. And when it's sent from the deck to the graveyard, you send another card from your deck to the graveyard. And you need to get Judgment Dragon out in this deck. If you don't end up getting Judgment Dragon out, then you won't win. And basically, Minerva is also a tuner and level 3, so you can get synchro monster. You can use it to sync a monster or to make an XYZ monster. So that's because you don't want to have a Minerva on the field for very long, or it'll get killed and you'll have damage done to you. We also have 3 Lumina. Really, you just want it to discard a card and summon a Lightsworn monster, because if you run out of Raiden or you run out of something else that's vital, like a Lila, you're not gonna win probably. Speaking of Lila, we have 3 of it. This card is good enough that a lot of decks that aren't even light decks at all have it. Basically, you send a spell or trap card your opponent has to the graveyard, I believe, and you basically have to have it in defense position for a long time, like 2 turns I think it is. And the reason I'm not so sure on these effects is they're all really long, and I know this sounds kind of lazy, but I don't want to read them on camera, because that would just be too much time of me talking. I have 3 Celestia. When you summon this card by tributing a Lightsworn monster, you send the top 4 cards from your deck to the graveyard and destroy up to 2 cards your opponent controls. That's nice, and it has pretty good attack, 2,300. It's pretty good. And then for one-ofs Lightsworn monsters, 1 Orcus, that's basically just to negate targeting effects. Most effects that will be targeting your monsters in the meta right now don't target. They're usually just to kill everything that you have, so it's not too useful. And these Felis, Lightsworn Archer, and Wolf, Lightsworn Beast, I personally choose to have 1 of each. Basically, you need to have 2 of these total, but it doesn't really matter that much if you have 2 Wolf or 2 Felis or 1 of each. I personally like to have 1 of each, but that's just me. And then I have 3 Judgment Dragon. This is just, you can't have less than 3 of Judgment Dragon, or you won't be able to win hardly any games. And this card makes me sad because my friend got really mad at me, and he has like anger issues or something, and he freaking folded it, which is just stupid. And if you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh, don't act like a 2-year-old, which I don't know why I'm even saying that. That's just hilarious that I'm even saying that. Don't act like a 2-year-old when you're playing a card game. Almost it's a 2-year-old card game. In which case, go right ahead, because I don't know why would they make a card game for 2-year-olds who can't read the cards. Anyway, 3 Necrogardna. This is another reason why the milling effects of all your Lightsworns are good. If this is in the graveyard, which is its ideal spot, you can negate attacks. You can banish it from your graveyard and negate the next attack your opponent has. And then these are our last monsters in the main deck, at least, to be honest. This is just really good for, basically it's a level 4, so you can make lots of good XYZ monsters. But it's mainly for if you know you're going to be hitting for a lot of damage or being hit for a lot of damage, you can use it. 3 Solar Recharge and 3 Mystical Space Typhoon. Basically, Mystical Space Typhoon is good in pretty much any deck. I know a lot of people have Twisters now. I still play Mystical Space Typhoon, and I plan to still play Mystical Space Typhoon for a while. Solar Recharge is basically pretty much every deck has some sort of spell that's for consistency. This is Lightsworn's. You discard a Lightsworn monster, rather. Draw 2 cards, and then send the top 2 cards from your deck to the graveyard. Really good. Drawing 2 cards is a nice draw power. We have 3 Realm of Light. Some people have Monster Reborn or Monster Reincarnation, whichever is not banned currently. But Realm of Light is really good. Basically, each time you send cards from your deck to the graveyard by Lightsworn's effect, you can place a Shrine counter on this card. Your Lightsworns gain 100 attack for each Shrine counter on this, and if this card is destroyed by a card effect, don't destroy it and just remove 2 Shrine counters from it. And then we have Foolish Burial, Regeki, and Upstart Goblin. Foolish Burial is really good, really versatile for a lot of decks. It's essentially the battle compressor of Yu-Gi-Oh! You can send Necrogardna to the graveyard. You can summon Wolf and Felis with Foolish Burial because of their effects. You can summon Minerva and just send another card from your deck to the graveyard. There's a lot of things that you can do with this. Also, Regeki is just standard in basically any deck. Just destroy all monsters your opponent has. Pretty straightforward awesomeness. Upstart Goblin, it's limited now, which I still don't understand why. Why? But I still have one that I play. And the hilarious thing is that the day that they were banned, I got 4 of them. Because one of my friends quit YuGiOh and he had 4 of them. And then the next day, I had them in my deck and my friend was like, "Oh hey dude, those are banned. Why are you playing those?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's nice to know." And then for traps, we are very light on traps. Ethereal Decree. Negate all other trap cards on the field. We have traps in our side deck too. I'm not going to explain most of the cards in my extra deck because they're pretty simple. Mellow Melody, Shadow Lich, Fortune Tune, Star Seraph Sentry, Castel the Skyblaster Musketeer, Dagusto Emerald, Giant Hand, Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon. This is the one that I want to talk about. Number 38, Hope Harbinger Dragon Titanic Galaxy. Needs 2 level 8 monsters, so you can use Judgment Dragon and level 8 Synchro. And it basically, once per turn, during either player's turn negates the effects of one of your opponent's cards, no, of any card actually, and equips it as an Xyz material. And if one of your other Xyz monsters is attacked, you can detach an Xyz material from Hope Harbinger and switch the attack target to it. That's a lot of Ancient Fairy Dragon, Black Rose Dragon, Michael the Arc Lightsworn. This is a card that nobody plays ever, and some people think it's really bad. I don't know why. It works perfectly with the deck, but Black Feather Dark Ridge Dragon. If you're gonna be in a big tournament, I would switch that out for a light end dragon maybe, or yeah, probably a light end dragon, but it's good for other tournaments, but it's kind of like a risky card, so I wouldn't play it in high level tournaments and high level competitive play. But I have a Colossal Fighter, and a Stardust Spark Dragon, and then I have 2 tokens. The only thing that summons tokens in our deck that you've seen so far is Shadow Lich, but also a side deck, which you probably hear me shuffling through right now. 2 Gores, that summons tokens. Basically, when you take damage, you can summon it as long as you control no monsters. And if you take battle damage, summon a token with attack and defense equal to the amount of damage you just took. And if it's effect damage, inflict that amount of damage back at your opponent. I also have 2 Rico, Lightsworn, Hunter. This was basically just a cut from my main deck that I decided just to put in my side deck. It's really weak, but since it's a flip, that means that you don't really have to take damage from it because it's so weak. And also we have another flip monster that also summons tokens, Scapegoat. That's essentially like a free synchro, and usually when I'm gonna be needing Hope Harbinger, I'll take out a 3 of, usually Lila, and put in 2 Scapegoats and a Black Luster Soldier and Void of the Beginning, because it's a level 8, and basically, if you have a level 8 Synchro in this, which is much easier to summon than Judgment Dragon, you can get Hope Harbinger out. Now for spells, 3 Gold Sarcophagus, just like consistency, but it's not like a big thing that you need, so that's why it's in the side deck. 2 Charge of the Light Brigade. Basically, if you just really need a monster, that's good. And essentially, it's for, if you know you're going to be fighting a swarm deck like Harpies or Performapal, you're going to want to add that and this, Reinforcement of the Army. That's mainly just to get Raiden out. And then our traps, 2 Beckoning Light, basically just to get Judgment Dragon, if you have all 3 in your graveyard, just to get Judgment Dragon back out. But yeah, that is my Lightsworn deck. Leave a like and subscribe, and leave a comment on what other things you want me to see. What other things you want to see from me. And I can probably do that. Leave a like, subscribe, and keep on gaming.